Good morning everyone. Today we are going to see about software testing tools. So software testing is nothing but you are just going to test whether your software is working properly without any errors. So whatever output you are expecting, whether it is providing you that particular expected output. So that you are going to test. For that you can follow two ways. Either you can perform manual testing or you can make use of automated testing tools. You can perform automated testing using certain tools. So what are all the drawbacks you are having in manual testing is, if you are performing or if you are writing a test plan, then you are writing all the test cases. Finally you are scheduling those test cases, and then you are generating the reports, analyzing it, what are all the errors you are having that you have to rectify. All the things if you are doing manually means surely it will be a time consuming one, and also it is a expected to get some errors, because as a manual testers they will be surely doing certain mistakes, like they will be leaving certain cases as not as much important, so they will be leaving it, so they are prone to errors. So it needs some infrastructure facility and also manpower to perform a manual testing. In order to avoid this, we are going for this automated testing, where you will be using certain tools in order to perform the testing, or in order to perform this testing. So what are all the advantages you are having if you are using this automated testing tool is, if you are using these tools, you can make use of the tools to test your software repeatedly, so that you will be getting a quality product, and also the reliability will be maintained there. That is, reliability is nothing but if you are making changes in a particular part of software, it will be replicated wherever it is used. So also there is a drastic reduction of money, time and effort, because you are just going to make use of the tools, so you know, no need to have a manual check there. The time taken by that automated tester tool will be very short, and also the effort will be zero here, because we are not going to use any manpower, just we are going to make use of the tools there. So you can plan easily, and you can execute those plans also effectively if you are using tools. And there is no need for a particular manpower to go through this testing, automated testing, like whether it is working properly or not. So it can be left unattended, that is during a night or in the holidays also you can just run that tool, and you can leave it as it is. It will perform all its cases will be checked, and it will generate the report automatically. So even you can use these tools in different environments, different platforms. Apart from that, independent location also you can make use of this particular tool. And it will check the performance testing also. Performance testing is nothing but when more than one user is accessing a particular website or database, how the performance of that website is, how fast it is responding to the user, that is called as the performance testing. The performance testing will be very high if you are using these tools, because the response of that tool will be very fast compared to your manual testing. So as we have already seen, after finishing the test, this testing tool will provide you the report, using which you can analyze whatever the output you have expected, and whether you are getting the correct output or not, or where you have to make the changes. That and all you can identify easily. So these are all the basic informations about manual testing and automated testing. So what are all the disadvantages you are having in manual testing, and why we are going into the automated testing nowadays. So next is different categories of testing tools. The first one is a functional or regression testing tools. This functional or regression testing tools is nothing but you will be checking the functionality of a particular thing, like you will be checking whether the function is correct, whether the task you have assigned there is working properly or not. You will not worry about the implementation part, or you will not worry about the coding part. Just the main thing you will test here is whether it is performing its function correctly. So it carries out here the black box testing. This black box testing is nothing but it will just check the implementation part without going deep into that how it is implemented and all. So the next one is, just I will explain this functional or regression testing tool here. It is used to test the software and also your web application and GUI objects. As I told you, it will carry out black box testing. So you can make use of client server or how the client is requesting and how the server is responding to that, and then ERP, SAP, CRM, customer relationship management. These are all the different things where you will be performing this black box testing. Just you will be checking whether it is functioning correctly, whether the functionalities are working properly without bothering about the interior details, detailed information about the particular implementation. So if you are making some changes, that will be retested again. That is called as a regression testing. So if any part or any functionality is changed, that particular functionality will be retested again. So these are all some of the automated testing tools you are having for this checking the functionality. That is CompuWAS, QA Center, Sable, IBM's Rationals Robot, and Windrunner. Apart from that, you are having number of things. So the functionality, as I told you here in that functionality testing tools, just you will be checking the functionality of the software without bothering about the source code or how it is implemented and all the test cases will be given as input into the tools, and it will by taking that in test cases as input, it will find out, it will execute, and it will give you what is the result you are getting it in the form of reports. If you are manually doing all the things, means surely it will be very boring one, and you have to prepare a script like when you have to schedule it, who will be doing it, and if you are using an automated testing tool, it will be performed automatically without any manpower. So for example here, login test cases, for example you can take the example of a calculator. So here I have given some of the examples like 4 1 by x means it will calculate, and it will give you the calculator will calculate and give you the result as 0.25. Likewise, minus 6 square root means it is an invalid input function because you have to use square root first and then minus 6. Likewise, it should produce the errors messages also, so that you will be checking it here in that. If you are writing a test cases for a calculator, these are all the sample test cases that you will be testing it. So the next category of testing tool is source code testing tool. So just it is the opposite of your functional or regression testing tool. It will check the source code, that is line by line checking will be performed here in the source code. Therefore it carries out white box testing. So it will, if you are using a branch or if you are using any looping there, it will check both the conditions. If the condition is true, how it will travel, and if the condition is false, how that particular task will carry out. So all the commented lines, non-commented lines, functions, whatever logical operators you have used, everything will be calculated here. Everything will be tested individually. If you are performing any modification in a test case, means again you have to retest that particular part alone. You need not retest the whole source code, just the test case in which you have made certain modification, that alone can be retested again. So these are all some of the automated tools you are having, like automated QAs, AQTime, Parasoft's Ensure plus plus, Telelogic's Logicscope. These are all some of the open source code testing tools that are available. Here lint is used to check the portability. Line profiles, this is used to calculate the execution time, and you are having this source code control system and revision control system to manage the configuration. So configuration management is nothing but what are all the files that are available, and what are all the files that are missing, or if there is any bug available, you have to remove them. All those things will be performed here. Next is your performance, or you can call it as a stress testing tools. As we have already seen, performance is nothing but if a particular web application or database is accessed by more than one users, how the performance of that website will be, whether it slows down or it is in the same speed. Likewise, you will be checking the response time. So here they have given a performance testing of a client server application or performance testing using automated tools. So the client server application means there will be one client and more than one servers will be there to the whom that particular client will be uh, requesting, and server will be satisfying that particular request. So if you are using some automated tools, you need that communication network between the client and the server through which you will be making use of the tools, and you will be finishing your all the testing parts. So it will test how the application works in case of multiple user access, that is if more than one user access is accessing it, how your application works, whether it is working properly or it is giving some error inputs or errors, that will be identified here in the performance testing tool. Some of the automated open source performance testing tool you are having here is auto testers, auto controllers, CompuVas, QA load runner, and some specialized tools are available for this mobile apps, SMS and MMS, that is the Argo Group's Monitor Master. And for X Windows you are having Preview X and Preview ASCII. So these are all the open source performance testing tools available to check the performance of a particular application. Next one is a Java testing tool. From the name itself, you can guess like it will test the all the applications that are written in Java. So Jemmy is an open source library that is used to create automated test cases, and JMeter is an Apache's performance tester, and Parasoft JTest is a Java class testing. It will perform the testing of all the classes that are written in Java. So these are all some of the automated testing tools available for Java. Next one is embedded software testing tool. So embedded software is nothing but you will be making use of some microcontrollers or some microprocessors, or in the form of chips you will be using this particular thing will be attached to your system, that is embedded system. In addition, you will be including certain code to be optimized by the particular software, so that you will be checking whether it is working properly, even though an additional embedded software is included in your system, whether it is working properly or not, that will be tested in this embedded software testing tool. For example, here you are having an automated test tool called IBM Rational Test Real Time. So next one you are having is a network protocol testing tool. This network protocol testing tool is used for testing the network, or how the network is, whether the path you are chosen for that communication is secured or not, and whether the you are traveling according to the protocols. Everything will be analyzed here, and also it will check the performance of that particular network also. For example, here you are having a protocol analyzers Rode and Squads who have performed certain network performance testing, like this automated tool NetIQ's Chariot. This is the tool that will check the performance of your network while you are transferring the information through network. So it will check the performance of that particular software, that is the root, the network and the communication protocols. The next one is configuration management or bug tracking tools. It will track whether any bugs are available there. If there is any bug available, it will remove them. So it will check the whether the configuration is correct, exactly matching or whatever is needed, whether the configuration is satisfied in that system. If something is missing and if you are connected to the internet, that will be automatically included into your configuration management, and if it finds any error there, it will be automatically removed. For example, the automated tool you are having here is Bugzilla, which is an open source defect tracking system that will identify the defect and track them, and it will rectify that. And for again for MS Excel and Unix and Linux, you are having this source code control system and revision control system. So the last one is this software testing management tools. From the name you can guess like it is used for managing the process oriented testing. For example, this quality assurance manager, their role is to, they will be testing the plan. First they have to create a plan, then they have to write the test cases, then they have to allocate resources to carry out those test plan, and then they will track the status of the bugs according to the report that is generated after finishing that particular testing period. Apart from that, you are having this automated tool will be performing all these actions. So example for that automated test tool is IBM Rational Test Manager and Auto Testers Auto Advisor. So these are all some of the software testing management tools you are having. So under the heading testing management tools, you will find out like so if you are doing some testing manually, what are all the things that have to be carried out by a test engineer is, first one, you have to create a detailed test plan. So like what are all the things you are going to do, that you will be have a plan first. According to that, you will implement that, you will write the test cases. Then you will be deciding the schedule when and where you will be performing all those test cases, that you will be deciding. Then you will be generating the report after finishing all the test cases, and you will analyze whether the particular testing have been performed correctly or anything have to be changed there. That is, you will be tracking the bugs and you will remove them in the next time. And you will be performing those regression testing in the modified software. Wherever the software is modified, again it have to be retest, that will be performed in the using this regression testing. Instead of doing all these things manually by the test engineer, you can make use of this web based test tool. That is, this web based test tool, you can make use of it from any one or any place, any geographical location, without this is a tool available everywhere. Like the test engineer, just they have to log in into that particular website and update their report. They have to check the status and they have to send and receive the emails. That particular report have to be sent and received by the emails, like whether it is working correctly or not. So this web-based test tool is an automated tool that will perform all the actions that have to be performed by the test engineers. So far we have seen about all the manual testing, automated testing and all. Now the question is how you will be selecting a particular testing tool. So that depends upon the customer satisfaction. First you have to check whether the customer is satisfied by the software you have delivered to them. If they are satisfied, then you have to find how much time and how much amount you have spent for that particular manual testing. And if the customer is not satisfied, means what is the reason for their dissatisfaction, because of the errors, means then you have to make use of the automated tools. If you are making use of a process oriented approach, means it is mandatory that you will be using a testing tools, because that will be more efficient than your manual testing. If the project teams are at various locations, then surely you will be using this web based management tools, through which the test engineers, they will be just logging inside, they will be updating their information or the result, and they will be just sending the emails, the status of that particular report will be sent. So this is what, depending upon the customer satisfaction, you will be selecting the testing tool. So what type of testing you have to do is depending upon the thing or task you are going to perform. If you are going to check only the functionality, means you will be using that first testing tool, functional or regression tool. If you are going to test the source code, means you will be using this source code testing tool. If you are going to track the errors or bugs available in a large software project, means you will be using this bug tracking tool, that will track the bugs from a large software project. If you are going to check the performance in a client server or web based system, means you will be making use of this performance tool, or you will be making use of this network protocol testing tool, that will test the network routes and the protocols. If you are going to that particular integration can also be performed efficiently by using this test management tools, and you can make use of these tools in different platforms. that is wherever you are in this geographical location, you can make use of the testing tool. There is no restriction and all. And a number of open source test tools are available free of cost. So this is about what are all the testings you are having and when to use them. So this is about your introduction about the software testing tools. Thank you.